like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who That Nation, man. We represent Tacoma late night broadcast. Shout out to the fam. Much love to the fam. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with BQ and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's popping? Shout out to the mighty Who That Nation, man. We up in this thing, Sports Coma. Saints midweek wrap up. It's Wednesday. And of course, we know what that means. It means it's time to talk about the first injury report that has been released on this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, to know what's going on with our black and gold as we get ready for a red hot Giant club who currently has won 3 in a row. They're really excited about this young undrafted quarterback they have named Tommy DeVito. You know, he's an young Italian American, and you know it's a strong Italian American culture and heritage from New York area, and he's kind of lit up the Giants base, so they feeling pretty good, and they got him believing. And this is even though this is a team in which we're supposed to beat, at the end of the day, we know that it won't be anything but easy. So anyway, so shout out to the fan. Appreciate y'all being in the building. OG Brian, good to see you. The Bullard family travel vlog. Shout out to you, fam. Good to see you. Brian says, "What's up with this new running back? We got that's on the practice squad. He's going to do anything for the team or just sit and practice?" Well, we're gonna talk about that, Brian, today. James Robinson, which is he's a very decent running back, man. He had some real positive time when he's with the Jags. He's a solid running back, man. So the Saints made a good pickup with this guy. And of course, they know Kendra Miller dealing with, I think it's an ankle issue. The only other running back outside of Elvin Kamara and Jamal Williams is practice squad running back. What's the kid name? I forgot the man's name, but he's on the practice squad as well. Y'all throw him in. Mixon. Is it Mixon? I think I want to say that's on there. But he's the only other one, and we don't really see him too often. And of course, we know Robinson has a lot more experience than he does. So anyway, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with him. Big ups to the rest of y'all, man. Javier in the building. Appreciate you, bro. What's up, Corvatus? Says Fowler reporting that he thinks the Saints keep DA after this year. Reluctant to let him go. He must have a decent sized contract. Listen, let me tell you something, fam. With all that being said, bro, and let me see if I can pull up the tweet from Fowler. Because in the end, they can say whatever they want to say. It's up to the support base. They think it's a game. They could play this stuff. And the only reason why they will keep a coach, they will keep a stinking coach. Hold on. Let me see if I can put Fowler's tweet up. I was supposed to put this up here because family members wanted me to talk about this. Hold on, fam. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Hold on. Give me just a second. You see, hold on here. Trying to find it right now, fam. Hold on. Fowler. Foul. There we go. Hey, yeah. No, that's not him. Why can't I find this dude? Anyway, I'm gonna pull it up sooner or later, fam. Let me see if I can kind of. I don't want it to stall up the show. Yeah, because I what I think about it is they can see they can report on what they want to report on, and we can hear it's 4 weeks out. It's a situation that says, hold on, I think I got the tweet here. Give me just a second to pull this up here. But yeah, the interesting thing about it is they can try to talk about the Saints leaking it out like, yeah, we gonna keep Dennis Allen, whether he makes the playoff or not. Listen, I told y'all a lot of this ties to the contract. We talked about that's why they're keeping the contract secret. If it was a basic contract, and I keep saying the same thing because it's commonsensical. If the contract was a average NFL salary in time for an average NFL coach, then there's no reason for you not to release it. The contract they gave Dennis Allen is a contract which they'll probably get some slack on. They probably would definitely get some slack on that. So, but at the end of the day, man, I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that. Not going for that. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if they're saying that now, and listen, they're stupid. You know, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. They're stupid. They're stupid and corrupt if they believed with all of the outpouring of what's going on with Dennis Allen, how this team looks, and they still talking about keeping them. It's something more than that. And I've been saying that for a while, but keep playing games, Saints people. And I'm not going to buy into it, bro. Y'all send me the link to that story. I don't feel like looking for it. Well, I don't have the time to look for it. I got to cover some news here. But y'all put it in, send it to me in the section and put it in the comment section. I'll find it and I'll locate it and I'll put it up there. So shout out to the rest of them. Rose, shout out to you. Good to see you. Marley Malls in the building. Eric, big ups to everybody, man. Be safe on that road. Brother Slim, shout out to Brother Slim. Kevin, big ups to you. Dana, much love to all my queens in there. KB, I see you, queen. Appreciate all y'all for stopping on in. But like I said, what's up, Snake Bite? Yeah, they saying this stuff, and we don't know exactly if that's the damn point of it or whatever it's going to be. I don't buy it because you can't say that right now in this 4 games remaining in the NFL season. The Saints are 6-7. They've underperformed this entire year. They are basically not in control of their playoff destiny. They got to win out, and then they have to get help from other teams to lose games so that they can have an opportunity to take possession of the NFC South. If they don't win the South, there's no playoff berth for the Saints. There's not a playoff berth for the Saints. They can't win it any other way because they lost to Green Bay and they lost to Minnesota, both of which they'll fall behind of if in case of these guys finishing with the same record. It is playoff or bust with Dennis Allen. People are not going to tolerate a bad, funky team with an inconsistent quarterback that's on top of the team. The people are infighting, and they're infighting with a month left, with a month of games left. It's not like you starting off early and they got to figure it out. They're infighting with each other at this juncture of time, and with 4 games remaining in the season. How are you going to turn around and say, "Now we thinking about keeping him"? He hadn't done anything. He has to at least get the team with 4 games remaining. He has to get the team to the playoffs. This is easy work. This is easy work. See, this is pond scum stuff, and like I said, they want to play those games, and Mickey Loomis won't sit up here and be stone-headed. You're going to go with them. You can go on with them. You can go on with them because, like I've been saying, this whole Dennis Allen debacle it shines poorly on Mickey Loomis because he's not who we thought he was. That's obviously what the case is. When Sean Payton was here, Sean Payton made all this go. Because when Sean Payton removed himself, look how Carmichael looks and look how Mickey Loomis looks. Look how he looks. He looks shitty. He's slow. He's despondent. He's stupid. He's behind the times. He's lost. He's an apologist for a failure of a bad decision that he made by picking a coach. He this is what you this is not a winning. If Howie Roseman was running his team, you think that dude would be putting up with some stuff like this from a guy losing like this? Come on, man. Anyway, let's keep this going, man, in this thing. All right, so like I said, we'll see. We'll see what's going on, but I'm not buying that, bro. Saints players listed on Wednesday's injury report, week 15 game against the Giants. Isaiah Foskey's there with DMP. Kendre Miller's DMP. Chris Olave's DMP. Andrews Pete is DMP for Wednesday. Jimmy Graham is limited. Taysom Hill is limited. Jordan is limited. Rashid Shaheed is limited. Ramczyk is limited. Jamal Williams limited. Of course, this is the first week, the first game of the 3 games here when they decided. We know Isaiah Foskey missed last game. We know Kendre Miller has been up and down this season, missing the bulk of the games. We know Chris Olave's now he's dealing with an ankle issue. It was sickness. Now it's an ankle. Olave's just having a rough season. Andrews Pete dealing with an illness. Jimmy Graham is rested for whatever reason. He had like 8 reps in the game and he needs rest. Taysom Hill with foot and left hand issues were limited, which is a good sign that he might play. Cam Jordan dealing with an ankle. We know that Rashid Shaheed was limited with a thigh, so it's good news to see him, having some type of practice. Ryan Ramczyk is also a guy that's dealing with some rest issues, knees, stuff like that. Jamal Williams got a groin issue now. He's limited, so the Saints have a couple of guys that's banged up. All right, so the Giants, you look at what the Giants have got. Not too much is what the Saints got, right? Cordell Flott, the defensive back, he's limited with a shoulder issue. The defensive lineman, Dexter Lawrence, limited. Evan Neal, the offensive lineman, limited. You see Ojulari is limited with a shoulder issue. Ashawn Robinson, the big defensive end, has a hamstring finger issue. He was limited. And wide receiver Paris Campbell, the speedster, had a knee issue, but he fully practiced. So the Giants not as nearly as banged up as the Saints are. So in the end, it is what it is. But this is the first of the injury reports. But one of the positive things is that you see Taysom Hill, who's dealing with multiple injuries, did participate in practice. So that is indeed a positive sign for this team moving forward. Anyway, let me see if I can pull. I didn't see that. If y'all, I'm still looking for the comment that he made about them thinking about making. Because listen, to me, and I'm gonna address it. And if y'all got questions, throw it in the chat for as far as that. But I'm gonna just say this about the whole thing about them thinking about keeping him before the season. If there's two schools of thoughts. Number one is, I think two schools of thoughts. One school of thought is that you can't decide if you got a coach that's losing games in the second year. The Saints need to see if this guy is the guy, which means 4 games remaining. If he's the guy, he has to win the games to get in the playoffs. It's playoffs or bust. There is no way around that. I won't let you spend it. And I'm talking to the Saints. There'll be no spending this shit where he will get an opportunity to be here if the team doesn't make the playoffs. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And see it then, and if they get that, and if they're that stubborn to not want to cut Dennis Allen, is because of the contract, which I also said. What's going on with the contract where you show commitment to a guy that's not winning anything? It's something pertaining to the contract. He's not performing. The team is underachieving. If they don't get to the playoffs and they still trying to sell him to you to keep him for a 3rd year, it's tied to the money, the contract that they're paying him. And they don't want to cut the contract because it's a stupid, ridiculous number that he doesn't deserve as a head coach. That's what's actually happening here. But I don't care about the money. You going to get him out of there or you going to be gone too. That's the bottom line. That's what this is. They made a bad bet with this dude. Instead of cleaning up their mess, they want to try to run a propaganda machine to kind of move the dude out. But I'm not buying in the story. You can't say that we're going to think about keeping the damn dude and they got 4 games remaining to decide on whether or not he can be, if he's worthy of getting them to the playoffs. If he don't get them to the playoffs, Dennis Allen needs to be fired. There is no doubt about it. We're not going to have 3 years, of 9 playoff football down here, 2 of which Dennis Allen had. It's not a rebuilding process here. If he was taking over a team that was void of talent, then you would have to be a little patient to see if he can build it up. But this dude was taking over a team that already had people here. Then he decided to put his own people on top of the building And I doubt that they'll finish better than the record they had last year. So if he don't get you to the playoffs, there is no keeping him. And if they do keep him, then you know what you got to do. Bottom line, you know what you got to do. Don't show up to them damn games. Don't buy none of their garbage. And don't put up with none of their garbage. You know, it's just stupid, man. These are stupid people, man, for real. But anyway, let's get into Derek Carr, his status. For the family members that's in the stream, exactly, Mark, stop buying the tickets. How many times I got to keep? They got some people out there, family, with some hard heads, man. Let me tell you. People that don't understand the power of economic boycotts. These are the type of people that when you go back into the 60s, if you was living back in the 60s time, and they had them, they was telling them they had some funny business that was going on the buses, and you living in Alabama, and you tell them, hey, man, listen, they did that sister wrong that was on that bus. We forming the boycott. We not going to ride that bus because what they did such and such, such and such. These type of people be the people that be trying to cross you up to get on. Well, I've got to go to work. You know, what kind of people is these? But slowly but surely, they finally starting to understand, man, that if you don't support people that's disrespecting you like this, man, and they put money above your interest, like, man, we don't care about you. You did that dumb contract with Dennis Allen and didn't want to hide it. You can't hide nothing from me or the great Saint Think Tank. We see all of that. We calls it out all the time, man. We seen it all before Sunshine Anderson around this piece. We done seen it all before. Ain't nothing that they can do that we did not see that they gonna send coming. Ain't nothing these people can say or do that we didn't see them say or do before. They can't show us anything new. You get what I'm talking about? I mean, it is what it is, man. So like I said, there's degrees to this. They won't take it to that notch. You can't beat us like that, because when you trying to get us to support you. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all heard the Cam Jordan interview. He was on Kate's podcast, and he was kind of trying to goad the Saints supporters into coming down there and supporting the team and cheering for him. He was talking about having them cheer for him, which is interesting because, well, the boos, and Mickey said this, the boos don't help us win. Well, the damn cheers don't help you win either. Shit. We was cheering and you was losing. So obviously the cheers don't work. The boos is not to help you, it's to show you that we displeased, if you didn't know. I mean, seriously, bro, if I have to tell you that, but it's just it's just like, it's a wrestle. Like, we can't let them decide on what we're going to do here. They'll set a precedent. We can't let the fans decide on how we're going to do this. Now, we can't do that. Oh, yeah? Watch this. They will decide, because if you coming to us for support and you can't support your damn self, and that's how it's going to go. There ain't no other way, man. You either appease us or you go away. Bottom line. You're going to do what we ask you to do, because we don't ask you to do but one or two things: win. And that's win at all costs. You don't hold loyalties to a dumb coach that's not presenting any results. Only a dumb old fool does that. You don't hold loyalties to a coach that even did. And that's what I was saying about his whole legacy. People asked me this question some time ago. Does it dull his legacy? Does it take away from him? I seen him somebody sent me the clip with him getting the game ball for 200 wins. I said the majority of that stuff came under Peyton. How many wins he gotten up under Dennis Allen? And it's like, what's Mickey Loomis' managerial style? To smash his ass and don't do nothing in the room. So if the other guy tearing up the team is falling apart, is dysfunctional. And like he didn't do nothing with the stuff happened with Jameis Winston last year. When Jameis Winston went to the media, where was Mickey Loomis in that whole process? That's the question I asked when he was talking to the media about Dennis Allen lying to him. Where was Mickey Loomis at? People ever think that? I was asking that question. I said, hold on. First question, where's Mickey Loomis at? Because there's no way Jameis gets to the press without talking to Loomis. You know what Loomis probably told him? Well, listen, you need to listen to Dennis. He's a head coach now. I ain't listening. The dude refuses to get involved, even when the team is falling through the floor. So if that's his measurement right now, that he doesn't get involved and go and tell him to change things up, that was all Peyton operating. So you can see what role a Carmichael or Mickey Loomis played with Sean Payton being here. It's clear and obvious, because if he was worth his salt, he would go in there and get Dennis Allen together and tell him, listen, you have 4 games to turn this around. If you sit up here telling them that they're going to keep him after the season without him even showing, that's irresponsible, it's stupid, and it's time for you to go. Because the truth going to get out one way or the other. And guess what? You can't win against us. You can't beat us. You don't like it. You sit up there on these interviews talking about, I don't like it. I understand it, but I don't like it. I don't give a damn what you like. Your job is to appease the Who Dat Nation and the supporters of this team. It's not to hold loyalties to a dumb coach who can't coach. Because you're too boneheaded, ignorant, and stubborn to get in there and correct this guy and make him change stuff. That's okay. If you can't do the job, we'll do it for you. And you won't like how we do it. So that's all right. Play games with us if you want. You can't beat us. You ain't got what it take to beat us. You ain't got what it take. You're not made like us. We black and gold to the bone gristle. You're not black and gold to the bone gristle like you are. You're not ready for this walk. You're not ready for this. These people can change colors at any time. We're not changing no colors. You're not ready for this. And if you want to play games, we can play too, man. It's as simple as us simply not going. And I've been talking like this for years now, and people are lining up one after the other, and the message is getting stronger. You're not made like us. So do what you're supposed to do and get this team together or lose big. That's how it's going down. You can't play with us. We represent everything, and we know our value. So you can't play with somebody that know their value. You can't play and you can't talk down to people who know their value. It won't work on us. Maybe on some people who don't know, who are suffering from confidence issues and are ignorant to what their role is, but you can't talk down to us and try to treat us a certain way and think we're going to go for the propaganda. It won't work, Playboy. You're not made like us. It won't work. You're a corporate man. We something else. It won't work against us, partner. I'm just keeping it real with you. I'm telling you the unmitigated truth. It won't work against us. We made different. Anyway, let's get into this, man. This is Derek Carr talking health about this, and some of the family members believe that Derek Carr is faking injuries. If you're a person that believes that Derek Carr is faking injuries, please put in the chat why you believe Derek Carr is faking injuries. And why anybody will want to fake an injury and some people say to cover up his bad QB play. Well, what are your thoughts on that as well? I might not agree upon it, but that don't mean I ain't gonna hear what you got to say. All right, so anyway, here's Carr and what he said today, fam. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear it.
Yeah, there's still like little treatments and things I got to do, but at this point, playing the game full and all that, I wouldn't think I'd be on there. I knew I was going to practice today. There was no like re-aggravations. So that was nice. First time in a minute, I didn't like land on the shoulder or so that was good. So I needed that. But I feel better this time this week. Definitely than I did last week. But sore like everybody else.
And when you reviewed that game, reviewed the tape of him, did you feel, I know you wanted to fight through a lot of ailments at once, but do you feel like it affected you in any way or limited you in any way?
I mean, if I can be out there, I'm going to do my best to be out there for my team, and for our organization. I made a promise that, if I can be out there, I'm going to do everything that I can. And I was taught a long time ago by a coach, if you can be out there for your teammates, especially at quarterback, it says a lot, for your teammates and for the coaches. I even had a few coaches come up to me from the defense side of the ball, a couple of defense players this morning at breakfast, like, hey man, I appreciate that, and maybe I wasn't at my best, but that kind of respect goes a long way, and building unity and building a team. So, I don't think anyone's at their best right now. It's this late in the year. But I just tried to be out there for my guys.
Derek, I'm assuming you've gone up against the Wink Martindale defense a couple times.
Yeah.
What are kind of hallmarks of that, especially with the amount of blitzes?
Oh my goodness, he's an unbelievable coach. I have so much respect for him and their scheme. Make it very difficult on quarterbacks. You can see that this season, especially the past couple of weeks. They make it really difficult, and not only schematically, but they have good players. It's one thing to have one or the other, but both. They have good talent mixed in with that, and it's one of those games where it's mentally draining. At the end of it, it's like when I talked about playing, Belichick. It's one of those days where it's so much mentally going on that you have to blink of an eye, you wouldn't even see it or know. But Mike points in this and who's in and what personnel and this and that decisions and blitzes and protections, and he makes it really difficult. But I've always had a lot of respect for him.
Is that just like from the disguise standpoint you're talking, and just like saying what's different ways?
Yeah, disguise. Personnel wise, making you see one thing and doing another. I know in Baltimore they used to have all those rushers they put out there, and you didn't know which one was rushing and which one was dropping. It makes it tough on a mic point. It makes it tough, and he's been doing that for years. And so he's doing the same kind of things with disguises, holding shells, holding looks, and he's got those guys bought in, and they're doing a really good job.
Derek, what's it been like kind of dealing with what you're dealing with physically every 2-3 weeks, not being able to kind of get into a rhythm, I guess, physically, and also second, how much will it help to have Rashid back on the field?
Yeah, well, first with Rashid, I'm excited that he was out at practice and he looked really good, so I am excited about that. And then, secondly, physically, I mean, I like I told Velma did the game last week. I told telling him and telling some other, it's been frustrating for me. It has. It's been very frustrating. Whenever every week is something different or dealing with something, but I learned a long time ago. At the end of the day, nobody cares. You got to do your best. You're going to have to answer tough questions when those happen because of those things, and you're going to have to deal with stuff. But you do your best to be out there for your teammates at practice. You do your best to be out there at the games and give it your best shot. And that's what I've been trying to do that all year.
Well, it don't help when you get the fussing and pointing, finger pointing at them during games when you're trying to be there for them. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, Brent, for the cash out, bro. Listen, man. I just think, at the end of the day, I in family, y'all be right along with me listening to a lot of this, man. And my goodness, man, I hear a lot of this, man, a lot. And I'm not trying to say I don't believe what Carr is saying, because only time is tell. But we hear these things over and over again about him. And only thing I want to hear from Derek Carr is he going to fix the situation where he's always overlooking or he's always in a situation where he's staring down one side of the field? Are you going to stop doing that? What are you doing to correct that terrible, flawed, garbage aspect of your game as a quarterback, an NFL quarterback? Undeniably terrible on the field is before everybody. The terrible staring down of or one side of the field, the non-fundamental now and going through the entire progression. The majority of the time it's a stare down on either the left side or the right side, never a full progression. Well, rarely he goes with the full progression, then he completes passes based on that. But outside of that, it's just so annoying and I don't know who these head coaches are, but I'm just like done with a lot of them for real. Because I don't hear nothing about, hey, bro, why you need to stop staring people down. You need to go through your entire. That's the big part of Derek Carr's problem. I've seen enough of Derek Carr for this season to understand and know by studying the film to know that Derek Carr's major problem as a quarterback outside of the shaky offensive line play is the fact that he is crippling himself because he's a half-ass quarterback. He only sees half of the field. When I say half-ass, that's what I mean. He sees half of the field. He looks at half of the field. Rarely does he cycle the entire progression. If he does it, he'll see open wide receivers streaking down the field. That's why they were frustrated, and that's why they were upset, because they're running full stream or full speed down the stream of the field, and this dude not even looking in their way. He's staring down somebody on the opposite side. And that is the really frustrating part about him and this offense, because he's doing that to himself. And it doesn't get fixed, because that's not something that's going to take you very far at all in the playoffs. That he's easily defeated on tape. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's easily taken apart on tape. He really is. He's not a difficult guy to put a game plan up on tape. He really is. And he's very simple to game plan against. He's really simple. I mean, he stares down half the field the majority of the time, and when he does get the idea to cycle through his progressions, he'll make a completion up the field to a Jimmy Graham, or he'll find a Rashid Shaheed. But outside of that, he's too busy checking it down, and that's laziness. If you checking it down that much, it's because you're not even looking responsibly around the field, and that's a major flaw in his game, which is why his stats look like what they are. He's cutting off half the field by himself, and I don't understand what coaches you got or what that he has around him that's not telling him to stop doing that. That I just don't understand. Either these guys don't know what the f they doing, or they just too scared to tell them. I don't know what's going on, but if they're studying the same film that we looking at, how could you not look at the film and see that the big problem with Carr and the Saints offense is him not seeing the entire field? It is as simple as it can be. And for them to keep rolling them out there and him keep doing the same thing, I don't think they're addressing that. I don't think that you're not going to be able to beat teams that knows that this guy is a sucker. He stares guys down. He doesn't go through his full progressions. You get people around him, he gets rattled, and then you start knocking him around. His passes sail, and his accuracy dissipates and basically disappears. So I mean, it's just I just really think it's a major flaw in the design of the game. And if these guys actually did what they were supposed to do and really worked on him and fixed that aspect of his game where he's not staring people down, we might have some success, man. We might be able to have something here. We just might. But thank you, Brent. He says, for nothing new under the possum. All right. He says getting on field crippled is not being there. This is something serious, though, but he said for the team, come on, man, it's selfish. Yeah, trying to keep him. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
I'm keeping it real on the Derek Carr thing. The biggest problem with Derek Carr is Derek Carr, bro, for real. And you could talk the offensive line is shit. You're right, but at the same time, they do give him times to throw at times. And Derek Carr seeing half the field. It's all on the tape. And it's a really annoying aspect of this guy's game. He's been in the league for 10 years, and he's staring down half the field. People running around free, he don't even see him. And then it's really annoying because I know the wide receivers see it because Michael Thomas got upset with it. Chris Olave got upset with it. Rashid Shaheed got upset with it. They're streaking down the field, and he's not even seeing them. They're running routes open or single covered, and he's checking it down. He's firing in a double coverage to somebody. And I'm like, dude, we got away with the Carolina Panthers because the Carolina Panthers is the worst team in the NFL. We beat them. We were supposed to do that. But you got a team coming in here that believe that they can win a game. They've won 3 straight games, and they have a certain energy about them. That guy does see the field. He scrambles around. Man, listen, man. Until they get, and listen, I just want whoever these offensive people, I have no faith in these people because they're not addressing it. Even the wide receivers see it. And for the coaches to not get on this guy and check him, and it can't be that. It can't be coaching him up because he's doing the same thing every game. So it's just like, I'm preparing, I'm doing. How are you preparing every week and you seeing half the field? So you going out practicing doing that? I just don't understand, man.
We talked about tackle quarterbacks on the opposing team probably every day. And the latest one probably the beat. I'm sure you saw the Monday night game. You just the energy and the spark that he seems to provide for the team. What have been your impressions of what he's done these last 6 games?
Man, he's done a great job of protecting the football and making plays, with the abilities that God has blessed him with, and he's done a fantastic job leading them and leading that team. I've been in that stadium, when my brother played there, and that's a great atmosphere when they're winning and when it's rocking, and you could feel that on Monday night, and to see what he's done. Anytime quarterbacks get their shot and they do well, I'm always going to be their biggest fan unless we're playing them, because I know how hard it is, to try and make this thing a career. So really happy for him, what he's been able to accomplish, and I'm sure he'd be the first one to tell you he can't wait to keep growing and keep getting better because he's a good player.
When we're talking about like some of these like shell defenses and taking the deep ball away, should he change that for you a little bit? Like, can he outrun the coverage, I guess? Or
yeah, he can, and he has a couple times this year.
Yeah.
There was I can think of 2 posts that we hit that were quarters looks, shell looks, where when teams play us, some teams play low quarters, but when Rashid's out there, that safety's usually a little bit deeper. He's more apt to let you have that, and there's been a couple times where Rashid has outran that. So it does change some things where maybe there is a single high safety trying to take that ball away, but if he gets too nosy with a guy like that, you can throw it over the head. I remember that we had one to Henry Ruggs, just a guy with that speed. They were playing single high defense, and we're playing in Pittsburgh. Single high safety didn't get deep enough, and you can still throw that ball over their head. So it's not something that mentally you make a living doing, but when you have a guy like that, you have to train your mind again. Like, hey, if we get that look as a quarterback, I'm not just so quick to get through that.
How much of that is kind of a modern thing in the NFL where it seems more and more teams are doing that? Where they're just like, okay, take away the deep ball first team, that's go 10 plus plays.
Yeah.
Has that been just a change you've noticed throughout your career?
Yes, and one thing I've noticed is things go in cycles, things go in waves. Because once that happens, there's going to be an uptick in whatever, call it whatever, tight ends across the middle, and as soon as you want to take that away, okay, now those are back. And as soon as they do this, then this is back. The run game will be more, the pass game's more. And so one thing I have noticed is things do go in waves, because whatever's working, people usually draft that way. They go in free agency that way, and then it goes for a cycle, and they see something new, and then they do that. And so that is one of those things, right? It was easier to get shots off earlier in my career, about 8 years ago, in certain ways. Now you can do it. You just have to be smart about it and do it in different ways. And so finding those matchups, finding those one-on-ones, it's a challenge mentally, but that's why these professional coaches, man, they keep evolving, offensively and defensively. They keep stopping one another. It's really cool.
I think that the overtime, the play action is going to be around forever. That's the principle of the game. If you get the play action going, if you can run the ball effectively enough to scare the defense, that they start designating or sending resources to the line of scrimmage to stop you from running, that's when you switch up and start throwing on them. Then when you mix the run versus the pass, you have the head on a swivel, you got them at your control. The play action. If you can get your play action game going, it's over with. That's a tried and true principle that's been across the NFL for years. That's not really going anywhere. But the thing is, we have to, as a team, offensively speaking, we have to be better. If we're anticipating getting in the position where we're making a playoff run, a lot of people say, "Q, we're not going to make a playoff run." But listen, let me just do it like this. If we're going to be in position to make a playoff run this year, certain things have to change, okay? And because I want to make the playoffs, I don't want to, lose so we can fire Dennis Allen. I mean, listen, I want to make the playoffs. Now, trust me, listen, I don't believe in Dennis Allen. I really don't. But this is what needs to happen for a playoff run to be possible. Derek Carr, as a quarterback, has to play a lot better than what he's playing. He got 2 touchdowns on the back end of the game against the Carolina Panthers. Fine, that was positive. Now, we need to do that early on in the game against the Giants. We need to kind of keep these guys tamped down. And the offense, when they get in positions, they got to score. They have to be able to put touchdowns up and not field goals. Derek Carr has to play better. His accuracy must improve. If he's going to go out there and tell you that I have broken ribs, I've been playing with the broken ribs since after the Green Bay game. And Derek Carr, newsflash, we already knew that. I was saying it. Tragic was saying it. We already knew you had busted ribs. People saying there is no evidence of, somebody said in the comment section, there's no evidence that Carr has broken ribs. So him saying it out of his mouth is not enough evidence for you? The media reporting on it, telling you what he's saying from out of his mouth is not enough, there's no evidence. Him telling you he has 3 broken ribs. And then if that's not enough, where are your eyes to look at it and compare the tape? Do some research. Look at the film, but as a Saint, and look at him as a Raider. You can see he don't have the same zip on the ball. He can't even push the ball up the field, which is his best throw. It happened last week against the Carolina Panthers when he took a shot down the field to Chris Olave. Olave had to wait on the ball. The guy caught up to him and deflected it. That's Carr's best throw. He doesn't miss on that throw. If he has you open, he will throw you open if he's healthy. That's his best throw. He couldn't even do that. So for him, he has to play better. If you're going to play with all these rib issues and you got people walking up saying appreciate it and all this kind of stuff for him playing hurt, listen, the ribs are one thing. The shoulder's another thing, but the concussions are a whole nother thing. I thought we gave a damn about players' health. 2 concussions in 21 days is dangerous. 3 concussions within a month's time of frame that's right on the line there. There's no need to put the guy through this if you got a competent quarterback who's not hurt, who knows the offense, that can move it better than he can. It's just stupid, man. All this doesn't make any sense. But if you're going to stick with him, he has to play better. Not only him, but the offensive line. Carr's decision-making has to improve, no doubt about it. His accuracy must improve, and he needs to stop checking it down so much, and he needs to see the field. For God's sake, man, stop staring down half the field when you got wide open wide receivers on the opposite side. Never looks to their direction. And that's just terribly, it has flawed. I don't see how you made it this far. And he wasn't doing it like that and with the Raiders. He was actually cycling the field, and he was more of a gunslinger because he had the arm to push the ball. Here he's torn up, he's broken up, his shoulder has issues all over the place. Now he got the ribs and the concussions. You think that's going to go away when the Giants come to town? The Carolina Panthers were teeing off on them in that game. It was knocking them down, hitting them, being out like, man, look what they're doing to them. The Saints didn't even put any extra blockers in there. I don't give a shit about this guy. But in the end, he has to be better, regardless. If you're going to sit there and play with that, that can't be used as an issue. If you're playing and you know that's the issue, then it's Allen saying that ribs and all this is not an issue to his play. We're gonna hold you to that. We're gonna hold you to it. Allen said it doesn't impact this play. When he talk about broken ribs and injuries, they don't impact this play. Shit, you try driving your car with broken ribs. If you shot up with painkiller or not, try mowing your damn grass with it. Try making some spaghetti and meatballs where you got to stir that goddamn pot. Just think about that. Not 1, but 3 of them. You're not going to no work with no broken ribs, man. The lunacy of all of this, man, is incredibly dangerous to play with his health like this. But, he don't know no better. He's an athlete. Athletes are trained to go out there and, hell, unless they, a second away from death, they got to pull them out of there. So it's just this bad decision making. The offensive line must improve. They must be able to run the ball. They have to be able to open up bigger lanes for Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams. The Saints must get involved. Jimmy Graham more involved. I would say ratchet up his reps to the point where he's even stealing some of Foster Monroe's reps. Foster doesn't need that many reps. He's not doing anything with the reps he has. Foster Monroe don't look like all that, man. He really don't. Jimmy Graham is a playmaker, he's a better playmaker for the Saints in the red zone. I wouldn't be against taking half of Foster Monroe's reps and giving them to Jimmy Graham. If Jimmy Graham is catching touchdowns and high pointing the ball, we need to get Jimmy more involved in the game. And that's a part of the offense as well. That's the whole thing. And then when the offense gets stuck in the mud, jump starting the offense by getting into the 2-minute offense. That was something we talked about and they mentioned several weeks ago. Well, when we got stuck in the mud, we just decided to jump into the 2-minute offense to start getting things going so we can, they call it the no huddle. Just hop in the no huddle offense until we get a rhythm, then we jump out of it and get back to our regular offense. If we need to, we'll cycle into it. When things get funky, the last several games when offense got stuck in the mud, they didn't go into the no huddle offense to kind of spur that. Start doing that when you realize it and you see, okay, we kind of having a funky time here. Let's just do no huddle on them and run at them and start moving out and see if we can spark something here. That stuff, Lobby, speeding up these adjustments. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we can't have Hampton running all over us. Saquon Barkley running all over us. And Tommy DeVito, the young undrafted guy doing his thing. We can't allow this, man. And please don't let DeVito outplay you, Carr, like you let Josh Dobbs did. And Josh Dobbs just got benched, matter of fact. He threw like, 4 interceptions? So, I mean, we're going to play a little bit more of Carr. But, man, these guys got to play together and play better if they want to make the playoffs. Because, Giants are coming here, but they're not afraid of nothing. Them Giants, they ain't got nothing to lose. They playing like a team with nothing to lose. They playing very free. They don't care if they playing at home or they on the road. That team is playing with a lot of swag right now. And we still kind of not where we supposed to be with a month worth of games remaining.
Of course, you be more patient, I guess, when you're going through that. It's just not the right range.
100%, and, every quarterback, we're not going to make 100% right reads in every game. It just doesn't happen, but, you try your best to be patient through those times and try not to force it. Even last week is a great example. They were doing some good things, staying on top. I mean, shoot, we threw, Chris a curl and the corner was 30 yards deep, and so you wait, then we get our chance and we hit our shot to AT. And so there is a bit of a waiting game sometimes. But other teams, if they think you're going to run it, then you can get those things early. So it's so different every game. I wish I could just give you one answer, but it does change.
Derek, you said you learned a long time ago that nobody cares, and that's how you have to respond to things. But
yeah,
has it been challenging for you to, wanting a fresh start in a new place? The results haven't come in. We talked about the crowd reaction and things like that. I mean, does it weigh on you? Is it tough to deal with that stuff?
I gotta be honest. I think the frustrating part is that, as a team, we just haven't put it all together at one time. I think, early on, like we talked about, we were having our struggles in certain areas. And then, man, like the last, again, forgive me not knowing the numbers, 8 or 9 weeks, man, we started having an uptick, last 2 weeks, red zone, 7 for 8, so we're doing things better and we're getting better. But this is a team game. Like, we all got to do it all at one time. That's what DA keeps preaching, when we all three phases show up and we do it, it looks really good and it's exciting. So that part comes, man. Like the excitement, all that stuff, that's going to come as we play better and more unified as a team. And winning games always helps that too. We at the end of that game, it felt really great again. We get in the red zone, get a stop, touchdown. Get a stop, get the ball, boom, touchdown. You felt that energy start coming back. So we got to do a job as players, keeping that, getting that from the start, keeping it through the finish, and everyone will be happy and excited as long as we can just keep winning.
Are you bet?
Let me correct that, man. People do care. We don't care to hear no excuses. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. People care. If they didn't care, they wouldn't be born. They wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be watching you. The people do care. They care. Like, well, they don't care. No. They care. But they don't want to hear no excuses. They want to see you execute. They know that you won't win every game. They know that you won't make every throw. They know that you won't make every tackle, but they want to see effort. They can tell the difference between a half-ass effort and a full effort. And as long as you give the people a full effort and you fight like hell and you leave it all on the field after a loss, people are not going to hammer you. A small segment probably will, but most people, they're not going to hammer you unless you're out there really fighting. And you really out there laying it down, you're fighting, you're trying to win the game. You see what I'm saying? People care, but they don't want to hear no excuses. They don't want to hear no BS. And unfortunately, the Saints are in the excuse business. When people that they pick don't produce, they want to turn on you and say, well, it's the booing don't really help us and all that. It has, bro, the people in the stands ain't got a damn thing to do with you losing games. That don't have nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. Just like they won't let the away team crowd affect them in games. They got to play through it. It's the same thing at home. And if home is turning against you, your own home is turning against you, it's because you're not preparing correctly, even though you're telling people you are. And you got to keep it real with the people. Don't stand up here and pretend like you got all of the answers. I'm not particularly talking about Carr because we know he said that before, but he being told to say that. We caught him lying. We caught Mickey Dennis Allen lying about not knowing that he was hurt in the Green Bay game. I had no idea when that happened. And I said, I froze the picture. I said, this is the face of a lying ass possum. This is what a lying ass possum looks like. He has all access to this man's medicals. He knew that this guy was busted up because we knew he was busted up. You could see it, man. Come on. We was calling it out, man. It's simple. This shit is simple. You can't keep nothing from us. We can see it all, man. But like I said, man, it's all about taking accountability. That's what it's about. It's about accountability. That's how things change. You can't sit up here and talk to us like you got it figured out, and we can see the team look like shit every week. They're having fantastic Hall of Fame practices every week, and the team gets out there and they're a half-ass unit. We finally was able to do something against the Carolina Panthers to stop the slide. We knew that was going to happen, but 4 games remain in a month worth of games. It's real time now. The Saints really need to win out on all these games. They need every last one of these games if they want to stand a chance of getting a playoff berth and saving their head coach. And if they really love him like that, then he's going to have to play for him and save him, because it's up to him and it's up to all the rest of them who really love Dennis Allen to get them 4 wins to get the Saints into the playoffs. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. That's what it really does.
Better at dealing with that year 10 than you would have been.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm a people pleaser. I am. Since I was a little kid, like, I care what everyone thinks.
That dude just said in multiple interviews before that nobody, if you're not in the building, with what's being said don't matter. If you're a people pleaser, then you are hearing what I'm saying right now, Derek Carr. And listen, bro, serious critique to you, man. Stop looking down half the field, bro. Go through your full progression plate. Go through the whole thing. If you got to go out there by yourself on the field and just stand there with the ball and go back and forth, just do that. Just like you watching a goddamn tennis match. Go back and forth. Just exercise like that. Move your head from left to right. Just do it like that. Because I mean, dude, you're not seeing the whole field, bro. That's why your game is suffering. You're not seeing the whole field. So if you're a people pleaser, please please us, the supporters, by going through your entire progression plate every time you drop back the pass. Unless it's a play that you design where you know where you're going right away. It's like a hot route or something. That's a whole nother thing. But if you have to span the field on plays, could you please do us that service and stop staring guys down? Could you please go through your whole progression plate before you decide to throw the football? That'll be much appreciated from us in the Who Dat Nation.
Are you happy? Are you good? Are you good? And no matter how excellent you try and do your job, no matter how good you try and be in life, all those things, I learned real quick, man, there's still going to be people that don't like you or don't care, or, that kind of stuff. And that was when I was a young player, that was an awakening for me. Like, dang, I'm trying to do everything right. I'm trying to do everything and be a good role model for the kids and all these kind of things. And you learn real quick that, that just is what it is. So it's not that you get hardened. You just know, what to expect. It's not going to be positive all the time. But it sure was at the end of that game. Hopefully we can keep doing that for our fans so that we can just have some more good moments.
And obviously I'm trying to get to the heart of this question, just for like people like, my wife who's like, well, what does Derek Carr say about all that? Like, have these last 2 games been especially jarring? I mean, that's probably a reaction you haven't even gotten much in your career.
Yeah, I'm not used to that, but I do understand that their expectation is our expectation. So their frustration, that's the way they can show their frustration. My frustration, we show it in our way. And so all of our expectations were so high, and our expectations still should be high. Everything is still in front of us. Again, I keep saying this, man, like, this is the time to do it. This is the time to get hot. Right now, I was on a team where this is when we got hot, and man, that was a great time in our stadium. It was a great energy in the city. And we want to do that for our city. I absolutely love this place, and I told you, I just want to win here. When we were driving through and they're showing me, I just want to win here because I know what it feels like. And so hopefully getting the one last week, hopefully continue that and keep that energy going all the way throughout the rest of the season.
Bro, you know what? The thing is, I'm feeling them on that. Let's just hope this dude can put it together. because people ask him, how does Derek Carr dealing with everybody criticizing him? That's not the question, bro. The answer is Carr's doing fine. He got $150 million the Saints paying him. The hell are you talking about? How's Derek Carr dealing with? Derek Carr's dealing just fine. He got 150 plus million for 4 years. You're not going to take that much money or sign a contract with that kind of money on the table and not turn up and give positive results in which the team is supposed to win. You put the whole damn thing together, because it's not about them. It's about the supporters. They represent the supporters. If you can't handle the pressure, don't take the buy. Don't take the bag if you can't handle what comes with it. See, they won't reach for the bag and grab the bag, but they don't want all the responsibility that come with the bag. You want to make $150 million and you won't be a team. You making this kind of money, making $30 million a season from the Who Dat Nation, and you're a 6-7 team with a stinking offense that's up and down, and a quarterback that constantly stares down one side of the field and also stares down people and say, I don't know where Jesse Bates came from. He just appeared out of nowhere. Nah, he was there the whole time, dude. But that's what happens when you're supposed to span the field. You're supposed to look around and see where these guys are before you throw the ball, which just showing you, well, we're not going to make every throw. No, that's obvious. That's why we're a sub 500 team. A lot of it has to do with poor quarterback play at the top. If we're going 3 and out and you see too much checking down going on, you see the offensive line is garbage. A lot of times they're not blocking consistently. So we have our issues and problems. It's like the Saints offense took a step back this year. They were supposed to take a step forward with everything that we have. But once again, I digress. It's not about how Carr is taking it in terms of how Derek Carr is personally dealing with how the Who Dat Nation and the supporters are upset and frustrated about his poor and ineffective quarterback play. It's not about him. He's the cause of why they're feeling the same way. If you want things to change from a supporter perspective, you have to play better. You have to play better. You won't get away with it. This is the part of the game where they're not going to talk about that. This is what we are supposed to talk about. They're going to spin it however they're going to spin it. Listen, nobody told you to come here and take $150 million. Dennis Allen was trying to get you. You could have went somewhere else and got the bag. Don't think for a second you're going to take the bag here and not take what comes with it. I always say that. If you can't win here and you got if you got $150 million, you have all these people here and you fail to make the playoffs, don't come to me with no injuries. When Dennis Allen said that injuries didn't impact his play last week or whatever weeks prior to that. Remember that saying, because I'm going to play that when the time comes, when they come out their bag and it's so contradictory. They're going to come out and talk about we had injuries. They do it every year. At the same time, it's so contradictory. Don't tell me about your injuries when you can't use them right now for an excuse. Don't use them later in the year for an excuse when the year over to justify bringing them back. If you're going to try to do that, because that's what they're going to try to spend. It's so predictable and half dead with these same old dinosaur tactics. It won't work, man. The problem is you take $150 from the Who Dat Nation, you got to perform. That's not just him. That's any quarterback that take that kind of money, that's sitting on top of a talented team that has playoff aspirations. You taking that kind of money, you got to show up and show out. If you can't handle it, get the money back and go back to the California, wherever you came from. Get the money back, say I can't deal with it, and go somewhere else, man. Because that's what comes here when you task to win and you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're not handling the business. So anyway, let's move on, bro. Let's go to the next one, man. Let me see if I can kind of get this. Hold on here. Give me a second, fam. That'll be enough of Carr. Let me see if I can kind of go on this other screen right here. Give me just a second. Let me share my other screen. Hold on here. Yeah, it's just ridiculous because, hold on, here we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, it's you got to be able to, the whole thing with Derek Carr, I understand where he's coming from. But we heard like this whole year, we've heard a lot of word salad from Carr. And yes, it's in front of you. And you say this, well, it's 6 or 7, they're all tied for first place. Let me tell you something. Them teams have tiebreakers on you. You have to beat them coming up. You don't have control of the division no more. You don't. You gave it up when you lost to Tampa and you lost to Atlanta. You lost control of the division. They own the tiebreakers. So you would have to, if you really want to win this division, and if you're really serious about it, you will have to win 4 games to get in the playoffs. There is no more, and I be saying this, people be like, man, they can lose one more game. No, man, there's no more time to lose any more games. The Saints have to finish the year on a winning streak. The Carolina, the Giants, the Rams, the Falcons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Falcons, they got to win out to get in the playoffs. And then they got to hope that the Falcons and Atlanta stumble, and then they have to still be able to beat them at the end of the year. Tampa, then Atlanta. The Saints don't have any more room for error. They got 4 games left to go. They got to win all these games to have a playoff chance. For real. I'm just keeping it a buck. No more errors. You lost to Minnesota. That was your out. You lost to Green Bay. You lost to Minnesota without their starting quarterback and their best wide receiver. You're supposed to beat them. You lost to Green Bay. You were beating them by 17. You let them score 18 points with 11 minutes to go on the game. That was your out right there. You lost the teams that you were supposed to beat. There is no more room for error. You got to win out. It's the bottom line. There is no more room for error. Anyway, here go Dennis Allen's teleconference, fam. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear this.
Weeks. He does a really good job with his legs and getting himself out of trouble. I thought he showed a lot of poise in that 2-minute drive against Green Bay to be able to operate like he did. I think he was 4-4 in that 2-minute drive. So I think he's operating at a high level and executing their offense, protecting the football, and putting themselves in position to win games.
Yeah, you guys brought like a lot of pressure, extra pass rushers last week. Is that something that you guys are gonna? I don't know. Was that game specific, or is that kind of like a little more aggression going forward?
Yeah. Look, I just think that was the game plan last week. We'll see what's in store for this week, but certainly it was good to get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback.
What were some of the things that you thought worked well for you guys in that regard last week?
Well, look, I mean, I thought our corners played really well. I thought they, challenged everything in coverage. So I thought they played well, made everything have to be a contested catch. And then certainly I thought there were some things that we did in terms of our rush that allowed us to get a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. So those are some of the good things we did.
DeMarco has had a couple of noticeable plays on special teams, whether it's hands team or a scoop and score. What are some of the things he's been able to add to those units?
Well, look, he's a young player that's a really good athlete. He works really hard. He takes it seriously. So every day he comes in and he's got a plan to try to work to get better in everything that he does. And I've seen him improve both as a special teams player and I've seen him improve on defense.
And what stands out about the way that New York likes to flip?
Well, look, I mean, that's really, kind of been, a hallmark of Wink Martindale, just being able to, bring pressure, show pressure, drop out. Really a tough defense to have to deal with. They've done a really good job of, creating some pressure, creating some unusual looks. They've done a great job of taking the ball away. I think they're playing really well right now.
You faced a pretty heavy team in Minnesota earlier this year. Did you take things from that game, or are there similarities between how?
Yeah, look, I mean, schematically it's different, and yet philosophically there's some similarities, in terms of what they do and how they like to bring pressure, create disguise, give some exotic looks. So they present a lot of challenges in that regard, and certainly that was something that we had to deal with Minnesota.
And how do you feel like you have just handled the this year in general?
Well, look, I mean, I think there's been times where we've handled it well, and sometimes where we haven't handled it as well as we need to, and so.
Yeah, well, look, that's Dennis Allen. Yeah, well, what we looking at, Dennis? Well, look over here while I bullshit you. Nah, we good, Dennis. Shout out to Brent, man, with the cash app. He says, for getting on field, crippled is not being there. That's right, bro. We don't need him out there getting hurt. He says, for the team, come on, man, it's selfish. Yeah, if the man too hurt to play, and I've said this before, a lot of people say, Q, no big deal. Guys play with broken ribs all the time. it's not just that, it's all other stuff that he playing with. The concussions, 2 concussions that he had, the shoulder issue, the ribs. So you can understand and know that the dude is shot up with painkiller all over the way. And it's so not a good thing. For he also said he don't play. He says, and then Brent says, he says also he don't play for man. He's fake, man. Brent don't like him, man. Thank you, Brent, for the cash apps. Thank you, bro.
I wanna say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, well, look, you know. Well, let's see how many times he says it as we go forward. Here we go.
You know, I think that's something that we've got to, you know, look, when you pressure and you blitz, you obviously open up some opportunities, and so we've got to be ready and able to, you know, identify, you know, who's coming, who's dropping, who's involved in the pressure, and then try to exploit that and take advantage of it.
Yeah, what's Chris Olave dealing with? I got some out of
He's got an ankle.
How did Derek Carr check out this week? Should he be able to be pretty non-limited throughout the practice week?
Yeah, I think so. I as a matter of fact, I don't know that we even, you know, have him on the injury report this week. I think he's actually doing pretty good, in good shape.
Does anything stand out to you about DeVito's intangibles or persona, the way the team rallied him relative to maybe the typical villain quarterback?
Yeah, look, I'm again, like I said, I think he's done a really good job.
Come on now, dog.
Offense. He creates a spark.
Come on, man.
You know, he's able to get himself out of trouble, create some things with his feet, and yet when he's got a clean pocket to throw the ball into, he's done a really nice job of delivering the ball on time and on target. And yeah, I think you know, they're obviously rallying around him. You know, it's a good story for them in terms of a hometown kid that's, you know, come in as an undrafted free agent from a small school, and he's stepped up and taken advantage of his opportunities, and he's playing well.
Yeah, what do you think about some of the things he's done defensively lately in the past 4 or 5 weeks?
Say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't quite get the question.
What do you think about what the Giants have done defensively lately in the last 4 or 5 weeks?
Well, look, I think the number one thing that stands out to me is in the last 3 games, they have 12 takeaways. Now, not all of them are on defense. They've had some on special teams, but they've taken the ball away 12 times. They only have 3 turnovers in the last 3 games. So, you know, they're +9 in the turnover takeaway ratio, which is a huge stat and a huge statistic in our game. And that it's you know, not surprising that they're 3-0 in the last 3 games, being that they've got such a really good turnover takeaway differential.
Dennis, you mentioned, I think Sunday night and Monday, not really finding the rhythm on offense. When you try to pinpoint how to find a rhythm, I mean, what are some of the elements that you try to hone in on?
Well, look, I mean, I think it really just boils down to being able to execute.
Bro, come on now, dog.
It boils down to being able to run the ball effectively, being able to complete some passes, stay ahead of the sticks, you know, not get into negative situations. And so, look, we didn't operate like we needed to last week. We've moved forward. We're excited about the opportunity to go play against the Giants.
You know, when it comes to the run game, last week you all got going a little bit. How important is kind of getting that second, you know, body in the run game behind Alvin?
Yeah, look, I think being able to get Alvin involved, being able to get Jamal involved, being able to get Taysom involved, I think all those things are things that we need to be able to do to run the ball effectively. And certainly, you know, when you're blocking it well up front and both backs are running hard, it creates, you know, some opportunity and you're able to kind of keep some guys fresh and kind of keep rolling at them at waves. And so I think it's important that we get all these guys going.
What do you guys like about James Robinson?
Well, look, we brought him in here. He had a really good workout. You know, he's had success in our league. His run skills, I thought, really kind of stood out to me. So, he's a guy that we brought in here. We want to get an opportunity to take a look at. He had a good practice today. So, we'll see where that's at.
Is Andrew Speed's situation anything to,
No, look, he's got an illness. I don't think that's anything to be too worried about.
Has the Kendrick Miller injury kind of dragged out a little bit longer than y'all were expecting?
Well, look, he's doing really good in the rehab process. He's worked extremely hard at it. He was making a lot of progress. It kind of plateaued a little bit. But we got him back going again. And I think he's getting close.
What was the reason for bringing in running backs for an audition and just being down numbers?
Well, look, obviously Kendra being down, Jamal Williams was limited a little bit today with a groin. So we felt like, to have another back in here for practice and get a chance to take a look at another back. All right, guys, thanks.
All right, that's Dennis Allen for y'all, man. The teleconference with Dennis Allen. Talking about the Giants matchup coming up, and it's like I said, we Saints banged up, man. They're banged up, and we're gonna need some better play here, man. No doubt about it. Thank you, Brent. Brent says, yeah, look, I think all filler words. Come on, man. Well, look over here at this stuff while I BS you. No, we good, Dennis. We're not gonna look over there, man. That's a trick. Well, look over here while I distract you with my possum looking self here. But I mean, in the end, this is the thing, man. This is what I think. I think the Saints, like I said, I want the Saints to. I know a lot of people they really don't like Dennis Allen. I get it, man. I really do, man. I really get it. Saints are banged up, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. But truth be told, the Saints can possibly win. They can win these games. But right now, it's not. It's just people say, Q, you know what, man? I like the team, man. But I like certain aspects. I like DeMario. I like Tyrann Mathieu. I like Chris Olave. I like Rashid Shaheed. I like Elvin Kamara. Like Jamal Williams, Jawan Johnson. I like those Jimmy Graham. I like those Eric McCoy. I like those guys, man. Carl Granderson, Kalen Saunders, Cam. You like those guys, Adebo, Laddie Daddy, Howden, Isaac Yidam. You like these guys, man, but you don't like the coach. But it's a tough position that the family members are in because they don't like the coach. They want him gone, but they want the team to be successful. They don't like Carr. They want him gone, but they want the team it's like a weird push and pull dynamic, that's happening here with the diehards, the supporters, because they don't like the head coach. Some of them don't like the quarterback, but it's like it's crazy how it is. And then when you see the inability of the team to win on the field, like this game is going to be a really big game. It's like a telltale sign of if the Saints can really do what they say what they can do. 4 games is the answer. We'll figure it all out in 4 games. And listen, 2 of the games are going to happen really fast. We have the Giants game noon on Sunday, and then Thursday night football, the Saints go to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. So 2 of the 4 games are going to happen relatively fast. So we'll see exactly where the Saints are. Now, if they are who they say they are, then by Thursday night, they should be on a 3-game winning streak. By Thursday night, they should be on a 3-game, not this Thursday, but the Rams after the Rams matchup, the Thursday after. They should be on a 3-game winning streak, and then they get an extra bit of time to get ready for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers matchup. If they are who they say they are, then Dennis Green. They are who we thought they were. And we, if that's the case, if they are who they say they are, and they practice squad champions, they practice warriors, they're Hall of Fame practicer, and they're going to turn it up the next 4 games, then by the end of the second Thursday from now, they should be on a 3-game winning streak, which means Panthers, Giants, and a win over the Rams. If they who they say they are. So like I said, if the Saints are if Dennis, because Mickey Loomis is betting a lot on Dennis Allen to win. They got 4 games to get in the playoffs. It's as simple as that. 4 games. They need all of these games. They need all of these games. They need all of these games. They need the Giants matchup, because the Giants are basically fighting for their playoff life, because the Giants are going to be desperate in this game. I think the Giants are like, what are the Giants? 6-8 or something like that? Hold on. Let me see what their record is. The Giants are, hold on here. Yeah, they 5-8. Oh, yeah, they fighting for their these people fighting for their playoff lives. They're 5-8. A loss would definitely wreak havoc on that. Let me see if I can get the whatchamacallits up. Let me get the playoffs stuff up on screen so you can see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It gets to a point where they're basically fighting for their playoff lives. Hold on, here we go. So as you can see, the 49ers, Dallas, they don't have no problems. 49ers and the Cowboys don't have no problems right now. They're sitting on top of the NFL, the NFC, looking pretty good. Detroit beat the Saints a couple of weeks ago. They're 9-4. Tampa Bay beat the Saints. They're 6-7. Philadelphia's 10-3. Minnesota beat the Saints. They're 7-6. Green Bay beat the Saints. They're 6-7. And the Rams play the Saints in 2 weeks. A little less than 2 weeks. So you have 6-7 Rams, 6-7 Seattle Club, 6-7 Falcon Club, 6-7 Saint Club, ranked at 11th. Right underneath them, the Giants and the Bears. Basically, you look at what the Giants got going on, man, because of course they're not going to win the NFC East, because the Cowboys are obviously, going to win that. So we know the Giants are not going to get that. So all they can hope for is a playoff, like a wild card berth. So in order for them to do that, they got to win out. They have to win out to stay, to have an opportunity to do what they got to do. So if they win out with 4 games remaining, they become 9-8. So they hoping that happens. So they have to win out. And the Saints have to beat them. The Saints have to beat them, and the Saints have to win the rest of these games against like the team like the Rams. They got to win out against them, and they got to be obviously Tampa, who's right now leading the NFC South, and they got to beat the Falcons, who got the tiebreaker that's sitting on top of them right now. The Saints have to win out, because they're not going to make it as a wild card if they do. If they don't make it in, because too many teams they lost to on the tiebreaker. Like I said, Minnesota beat them, Green Bay beat them, and then, it's just what it is. They're not going to be able to leapfrog any of these teams. They'll be ahead of them in a wild card. So the Saints have to win out so they can occupy the top spot in the NFC South. Fans, what's about it. So like I said, there's no more room for error. There's 4 games remaining. The Saints have to win. The only thing is, do we believe that the Saints have the ability to win those games? You get what I'm saying? It's going to be a very fun time to watch the Saints play. I really want to see how this is handled. I'm going to be honest with you, fam. I want to see how all this is handled. I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be interesting to see just how and what happens with this team moving forward, to be really honest with you on that. I'm going to just keep it a buck. It's going to be very interesting, because if it's not a playoff, if they're not making moves where they're getting into the playoffs, man, you might have some issues, man. You're going to definitely have some issues trying to sell Dennis Allen to the Black and Gold Nation. I'm just going to be keeping it a buck with you. That's just how it's going to go. All right, Jack says, I was good with DA taking over but 2 seasons. He says over but 2 seasons, and it's obvious he's in over his head. If he's stuck with making an awesome defense, he might be good, but he's pretending to know offense. Yeah, he's in the change. Not making a change is really is special minded. Chris says we just need to get rid of DA, period. He doesn't have the winning tradition in him. All right, John says big Q capping for call. No, I'm not. Not capping for Carr, man. I'm saying what I'm saying is for the Saints to make the playoffs, Carr has to step up and play. Me personally, Carr's game is severely toe up, man. Severely toe up. I really do think he needs to be set down, and I think Jameis needs to be put in the game. I don't think I'm not capping for, but I can't. People don't understand, boy. When you say stuff like you're not supposed to say that's a fact. Like I'm not supposed to state facts about Carr. Like he got broken ribs, he toe up, he shouldn't be playing. He got multiple concussions within a 21-day window. He shouldn't be playing. I think Jameis gives him a better chance to play, but how is that capping for Carr, man? I don't think I'm capping for Carr. All right. Be killed on how? What are y'all talking about here? What's going on here? Quaveda said the safeties and the linebackers are gonna have to play big for the Saints to win this game. You got a mobile QB. With Walker at tight end and Saquon in the backfield, a lot of play action will be used. Indeed. All right, double X spam. God RN. I can't see what that is, my brother. He says, Q, what do you think of? It's a beef with Winston? I don't think it's a beef with Jameis Winston, bro. I just think they have their favorite. You know, they have their favorite who they believe is the guy to take them to that next level. They really, truly believe that Derek Carr is the answer to taking the Saints to the playoffs. They really believe that junk. And having this blind belief doesn't give them the ability to step away and say, man, we need to fix some of this guy's flaws if we believe that he's the guy to take us to the next level. You don't see any of that going on. Like, I can't sit up here and just like ignore all. That's all I said. If you rewind the show, that's what I sat up here for like 5 to 10 minutes talking about Carr's inability to span the field. He's I call him a half-ass quarterback, which means he sees half of the field the majority of the time. Not all of the time, but the majority of the time. You watch the tape, he's staring up there looking at half the field. He don't cycle through his progressions. If you do that, then you're missing out on open people on the other side of the field that can represent easy touchdowns. That's why the offense stinks and it stammers at times. Not all of the time, but the majority of the time is because if you're not seeing guys single, why are you throwing into double coverage or checking it down when guys are waiting? They're giving Elvin Kamara room 5 yards or so off of him so that if he throws the ball, they converge on him. See that all the time. Because a lot of that stuff, he just throws it out there. He has to make a move to try to break away from 2 people. That's not really doing anything. You might get a completion, but that's not really helping anything to do that. You got to look up the field and make throws up the field to kind of force the defenses to stretch out so that you have room to operate. There's no reason for all defenses to play Carr deep. He's not hitting anybody deep. He threw the pass to A.T. Perry, but those are far and few in between. The pass to Jimmy Graham when he high pointed the ball, to set up the touchdown with Chris Olave, and then the other one when Jimmy had an opportunity to get the touchdown in the red zone. Those are far and few in between. We need you to look down the field. And if it's hurt, I don't care what it is, man. If you can't see the field, there's no need. If you can't see the field completely, there's no reason for you to be out there. All right. KK says, Q, the doctors are clearing Carr. I hear what they're saying, but those are team doctors, though. Team doctors. That's why a lot of people don't be believing the team doctors. Y'all know this. Come on. That's why they get second and third opinions from outside doctors. Most of these players have their own doctors that they trust. Team doctors mean they're being paid by the team. So they want to try to produce an outcome that's favorable for the people that's paying them. It's it's a dynamic that you won't have a person ain't gonna be there. Like if he's standing in between, listen, man, it's against me. I'm not gonna let y'all play Derek Carr. Carr has 2 concussions. He can get a third concussion. This can lead to all type of serious brain injuries and stuff. This can mess this guy up. You think they got a doctor standing up there before them? They hire the doctors. They're gonna give them the opinion to get him on the field because they're spending a lot of money on him. That's why a lot of people don't trust the team doctors, because the team doctors do whatever the team want them to do. They'll try to perform whatever outcome they can get away with to get that player on the field. Y'all know this. Come on now. Y'all know. And I know, Kay, you just being, you being a little sarcastic there. I get you. But yeah, it's spam for sure. Okay, I got you, bro. Okay, there you go. I got you, my man. All right, appreciate that. But yeah, I just think they have Carr picked as far as your Jameis question, bro. I just see it as they just prefer Carr because that he's the handpicked guy. He is the heir apparent to Drew Brees. They gave him $150 million 4 years. It's his team. That's how they see it. And it's for their benefit that Carr gets every rep and every opportunity because of that monstrous contract. Now, that's why you won't see them draft the first round. And I told family this, that's why you won't see them draft the first round quarterback next year or even the year after that. It'll make them look stupid as hell if they paid a guy last year 100 this year, which will become last year once the year turned over. But you look crazy as hell if you gave a guy $150 million for 4 years and then the very next year draft the quarterback with the first round draft pick as opposed to get him some offensive line help or another wide receiver. You see what I'm saying? Or build a stronger offensive unit because they really need to do that in terms of building up the offensive line, whoever the quarterback is. But that's the thing. They're not going to do that. And another caveat, if Jameis gets in there and he balls and he starts winning games, and then they go, that'll cause a big issue. Like that'll cause like a controversy. How you got a quarterback that's inexpensive, making a lot of money and being productive, or making a lot of plays being productive, and a guy that's getting paid a bunch of money not being productive. You're getting outplayed by the guy making lesser money. They don't want that controversy. So they make sure they keep Carr. If they got to bandage him up and weld him together and basically wheelchair him out there, the quarterback for you, he going to do that. They're going to lay him out there no matter how hurt he is. If he got multiple, who knows? I don't even, and I'm going to be honest with your family. I don't even believe that he just had 2 concussions. He probably had more concussions than that. I promise you that. And they're going to just stop at 2. We're going to believe these people. And the reality is the broken ribs issue. We knew that. Carr admitted to that and said he'd been playing with that issue, but that wasn't something the Saints came out with. The Saints didn't say he had a rib issue. People said the ribs popped up. I ain't seen no rib issue pop up until after Carr said something about it. There was no destination about ribs. We were saying it the whole time. So if they held that information for all those weeks, you know how long ago the Green Bay Packer game was? That was like 2 months ago. So they've been lying for 2 months, man. For 2 months, over 2 months, these people have been lying about the man injury. You think he only had 2 concussions on it? Man, no, absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. So it'll make them look bad if they play Jameis over him and Jameis balls and he doesn't, and the team moves behind Jameis and it doesn't move behind him. That makes him look bad. In turn, makes Dennis look bad. In turn, makes Mickey look bad that they gave him $150 million to be the quarterback, and he's getting outplayed by another quarterback that's making a fraction of that money. So, I mean, regardless or not, like I said, if the team is going to make a playoff push, they have to win all of these games. There is no, you can lose the Giants game or you can lose the Rams game and have a chance. If you're doing that, that means you want to back into it, because if you losing games that you're supposed to win, you trying to back into the playoffs. That means you praying that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Falcons lose games to give you an opportunity, which is a loser mentality. You have to win all of these games. There's no more room for error. You have to beat it's definitely doable to beat the Giants. It's doable to beat the Rams. The Rams, even though they're playing pretty good football right now, but they're not the world beaters they used to be. So you could beat them if you own your game, and you have to definitely beat you have to beat Tampa and Atlanta. So there is no more room for error. They lost their room for error with games against the Green Bay Packers, against the Minnesota Vikings, and others. They lost all that. They have to win out. If they're serious about making the playoffs, there can be no more losses for the rest of the year. They have to win everything to stand a chance, because they lost control of that opportunity when they lost to the Falcons. They could have been on top of this thing. That's another loss. The Falcons lost, the Tampa Bay lost, the Minnesota Vikings lost, the Green Bay Packers lost. All those losses were losses that they shouldn't have had. They shouldn't have done. But in the end, that's why I said there is no more room for error. You have to win everything. And losing any one of these games means you're attempting to back into that, and you don't deserve to be there in the first place. So like I said, there's 4 games remaining, man. We're going to get to the bottom of this real quick. Debbie says the Saints going to the playoff will bring money to the city of New Orleans. I want to see my team get to the playoffs, even though I don't really care too much about the head coach. Then Derek Carr, a little bit too much word salad for me. He banged up. I think he's a half-ass quarterback. No disrespect to the man. I just think you're a half-ass dude, man. Anytime you see half of the field, you're a half-ass dude, man. You're just too half-ass, man. Really too half-ass. And a half-ass quarterback is not going to take you to no playoffs, man. I'm telling you, a half-ass quarterback is easily able to be broken down on film and taken apart. For real. For real. A half-ass quarterback will not take you to the playoffs, bro. I'm not being negative, but I'm saying unless this guy changes that whole dynamic and starts seeing everything, the majority of the plays, it's not going to work. Teams are just too good defensively. They can key in on your weaknesses, and they just send people to knock Carr around. His passes kind of sail a bit. He's already hurt. So I mean, you knock him down on the ground. He gets glassy eyed. He gets the deer in the head lights look, and it's just not good. Then offensive line is not helping either. They're not running the ball effectively. The Saints are stupid with the play calling because they know this guy tore up back here, and they're still trying to have him to throw the ball 25, 30 times a game when they should be trying to run the damn thing. That's the reality. To protect them, let them run the ball. Put the fullback out there. If you got to throw another tight end out there, do what you got to do to get this running game going. Because you ain't winning nothing with Carr throwing that many times anyway. Corvada says 4 losses right now. You got. Well, I'm just saying, bro. At the end, I'm saying I'm speaking facts, right? There is right. They let it come down to the point of the season where there's 4 games left. You got to win all 4 of them. This whole year they've been screwing around, losing games, kicking themselves in the ass, saying that we're gonna figure it out. Every week we getting better. And now it's time to show that. There is no more time left. You have 4 games. You got to win them all. You got to win them all. That's the bottom line. If you won't have a chance, ain't no backing into this thing. You got to take it. Below says Carr has been trash. I was hoping for better and rallied when a different quarterback. That offense rally would have been, because like I said, bro, he's not seeing the whole field. And it's not all his fault, but the majority of it is his fault. He's the quarterback. He touches the ball the majority of the time. He has a direct major impact on the football game for the Saints offense. He touches the damn ball every time. He has an opportunity to make a play with the ball every time. He has an opportunity to throw the right reads the majority of the time. We know you're not going to be perfect, but we damn sure don't want you staring down people or even looking at half the field. Cycle through, and this is commonplace shit in as an NFL quarterback. I just don't understand. BP says, "Oh, the Cowboys would wash us. LOL. Either way, if we make the playoffs, we'll get washed." Yeah, but that's the thing. See, the thing is, make the playoffs. See, the thing is, whether you win in the playoffs is irrelevant to Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis, right? We know right now, and I'm not being negative. People say, "Q, you got to be positive, bro. You got to be positive." Bro, this is the best I got, bro. Be honest with you, bro. This is the best I can do. After watching a whole year worth of Saints, it didn't come down to 4 games. And after watching how they went through this whole season, how inept they were, how just non-accountable they were, just how dysfunctional they were, it's very difficult to be positive. But usually, if you're going to be positive, you got to see something there to kind of make you spark. Now, I do like a lot of people on the team player-wise, but I do realize the dynamic the head coach plays on the team as well, and his mindset can tamper a lot of that. That's why you got a sub 500 team with all this talent. It doesn't make any sense. 9 weeks into it, prior to Michael Thomas getting hurt, the Saints had everybody, and they still couldn't move the ball effectively. They were arguing about who was running routes, and Carr gets out there, people running the wrong routes, people confused. It's just, with 4 weeks left, don't miss me with, we got to figure it out talk. It's 4 games left in the season. If you hadn't figured it out by now, you won't ever figure it out. So, I mean, like I said, it's very simple to me. You got to win everything. It's just what it is. All right. Spam says, well, look. Yeah, well, look. We have Dennis Allen and Pete as coaches and broke down Carr as a QB, not expecting them to pull through because that's what they've shown us all year. I understand your frustration, bro. Can't kick against your logic, sir. KK says 7-10. All right, appreciate that. Slim says we would have been playing Dallas. We would play a wild card team. All right, yeah, that's right. That's how the rounds are ciphered out. Bilo said that's a good game to come back, and he said that's a good game to come back in. No wide receiver on the Giants should beat us, but the run game with them will kill if we play like we did last week. Yeah, we're the negativity. That's right, BP. Now, but yeah, yeah, you're right, and we're gonna do that, man. T Dirty, what's up, my brother? I hear you, bro. I hear you, bro. I see a lot of family members like that. They want to lose out because they want Dennis Allen gone. They think, the common logic is but see, the thing is, he has to get the team to the playoffs. He has to get them to the playoffs. Him finishing the same record or a loss less won't cut it. That'll make it different. Now, listen, do I think that Mickey Loomis is crazy enough to try to sell Dennis Allen to the Saints for a third year? Yeah, I think he is. He hadn't shown me anything. And see, listen, fam, when people show you who they are, you believe them. Mickey Loomis hasn't done anything the least bit counter to going to talk to Dennis Allen. He's been up here telling you about frustrations, but he's not venting his frustrations to Dennis Allen, obviously, because Dennis Allen hadn't made any changes to his offense. And when we talking about what changes you want, I'm talking about changing the play caller up. Making let Curry call the plays. Ronald Curry, the QB coach and passing game coordinator, let him call the plays and let him operate as the play caller for a week or two and to see what that do with the offense. None of that's happening. No changes, no nothing after them saying twice this year that they were going to make changes and they never made them. So Dennis Allen is a liar. He's not and he's not serious about doing any of that. Mickey Loomis has not once yet got on Dennis Allen for how this team is performing. Not one yes. He sits up there and he has these controlled interviews when he has his paid shills to sit up there and interview him and protect him. He don't go and talk to nobody else. He don't come and talk to me. He know not to talk to me. It's not that I'm gonna be rude with Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis, you could talk to me, man. I will have a dialogue with you. I won't be rude with you. I wouldn't even do the Mickey while you're on the show unless you ask me to. But I wouldn't be rude with you, but you're gonna get them questions though. I'm not gonna, but he got paid shills that ask these softball questions, and that's what he does. He's not lambasting Dennis Allen. He's not getting on Dennis Allen. He's not saying, listen, we issuing ultimatums. They didn't say to nobody that Dennis Allen has 4 games to make the playoffs or he's fired. That's not the word on the street. A lot of people know he's on the hot seat because most head coaches in this same circumstance will be on the hot seat. If they have a team that was served up as a playoff team and they missed the playoff both years, what's going on there? So, like I said, man, he's a team Dennis Allen guy. But he can protect him right now, but his power has a limit. When the season ends and that man don't make the playoffs, they're gonna have a hard time selling to the Who Dat Nation a coach because we're not gonna go for that. If he didn't learn what he needed to learn now, we know, and Dennis Allen is not learning anything as a head coach. He's not getting any better as a head coach. He's still not accountable. He still is not a disciplinarian. He still is not an attention to details guy. He still hadn't learned anything. The things that I was asking prior to the season start, what did Dennis Allen learn to make him a better coach? The answer is nothing. You're getting the same results you got last year. And for Mickey Loomis not to see that, so he's like, I need to see a third year to decide on where I'm going to make a decision. Well, you got to go to, because obviously you don't have the type of judgment I thought you had that you was operating with Sean Payton. Obviously, you just sat up there, and when Sean Payton said, I need this player, you just went and got him and finagled the books. We don't really need you to do that no more. We got Kai there. You taught him everything you know. Plus, Kai Harley will be a fire general manager. He'll let him fire Dennis Allen, let him fire his own coach to work with and bring here. And listen, my handpicked favorite, so who you like, Q? I say Brian Flores. You made Kai Hartley the vice president. Not vice president. You make him the general manager. Mickey Loomis keeps his stupid vice president job, whatever that is. And general manager job, he gives it to Kai. Kai comes in, Dennis Allen out. Kai hires Brian Flores. Brian Flores comes in with his guys. brings this, takes that defense, gets them on fire, finds him an offensive guy that can work with him. And then a guy like that, he's young, he's close to the age of the players that can relate to him. He's smart, he knows how to game plan, he's attention to detail guy. He's a motivational guy, really astute, high IQ guy, really intelligent dude. And then you have a similar personality in the building like the Texans have a D'Amico Ryans. Like we talked to guys from the Houston Texans side of things, they were talking to even the press, they love D'Amico Ryans because he excites everything. He's smart, he's determined, he's a leader. That's what kind of guy you need here. Not no have dead circle guy that been recycled through the league and then he got the job because he's Peyton's buddy. And Mickey Loomis stupid enough to hire him and overpay him. That's why they're keeping his contracts secret. So it's what it is. Ramsey says, Q, even if we lose all our remaining games, Mickey will keep dead for one more year. It'll be very difficult for him to spend that, fam. I'm telling you. It'll be very difficult for him to spend that. You cannot keep Dennis Allen around for a third year, and he and the team. And how did the team? If they lose, fam, listen. If they lose all 4 games, how many games do they win? Seriously, because these are all winnable games. How many games do the Saints win? Me personally, I think they get 2 wins, 2 of the 4 wins possibly. Either one against Tampa or Atlanta. They don't get both. I think they get either one of those games with Tampa or Atlanta, and they get the game against the Giants. I think they can get the Giant victory. I don't think they beat the Rams, and I don't think they beat either one of the teams. I think they split with either one of the Atlanta and Tampa Bay clubs, and they get one of the games. That I say 2-2. So at 2-2, the Saints currently right now are sitting up here. Where am I thinking? They're sitting up here at 6-7. 2-2 makes them at 8-9 team. 8-9 team. So you were 7-10 last year. You get 1 game better. So that's progress. But that's not enough. That's not enough. If they lose all of these games, then he's definitely not going to make it. But he has to get them into the playoffs. Now, only way. Now, listen. This is my personal thought process on it. If Dennis Allen wins all of these games, right, and there's a scenario where if Atlanta wins out or Tampa Bay wins out, right, well, they can't win all games because they will be facing Atlanta. But let's say if it lands any other way where they don't make it's no other way to spend this. He got to go one way or the other because it's too much, it's too many people out there. Then if the funny thing is, if they decide, this will be perfect. This will be if they decide to do that, if Mickey Loomis announced, because he's gonna run from you at the end of the season, he's gonna run from you. He's a coward. He's going to end up running from you like he ran from you last year when he's supposed to do an end of season press conference within a few days after the season ended. That turned out to be 2 or 3 weeks later before you got an end of the season press conference. The excuse he was given because he was upset, but he wasn't upset enough to do anything about it. He didn't fire anybody. So you obviously was bullshitting. You probably was playing golf somewhere. So, I mean, it wasn't like he was upset. You wasn't upset. Upset means you fired somebody. You did something to change the outcome of the game. You did something different. He's just going to run from you at the end of the season. That's what kind of leadership we got. Instead of standing up there and facing the music, you're going to run, get frustrated at people, getting frustrated at you. You tell me that's not mental illness. They're getting mad at you because you mad at them because they stink, that you're not handling your business. How you going to be mad at me and I'm not handling my business? I'm going to be mad at you. No, you can't be mad at me, idiot. You the one that stink. We're frustrated because you stink. Fix your house. Fix what you got going on there. Stop making excuses and fix it. So, I mean, that's when it comes down to it. And if that happens, boy, I'm going to be sitting up here having these streams, laughing my ass off, pressing buttons and everything. Y'all thinking that's going to be the end ball BL? I want Mickey Loomis to try and pull that one out of the bag. That is going to be a fun time. I'm going to just keep it a buck with you. You think, man, you thinking we did have some funny streams over the years? Boy, let Mickey Loomis go ahead on and keep Dennis Allen and the Saints miss the playoffs. Watch how all this is going to play. Watch the stink that's going to fly over the entire area, the Who Dat Nation. Watch. This is going to be, and if he tries it, it's going to be some funny stuff, especially with him standing up there talking. He think he has it rough right now. Dennis Allen's not worth what he's about to go through. And not only that, Gail's going to get involved eventually because she's going to hit an outcry from the people. Right now, she relying on Loomis. But how could how could Loomis spin it to her that we failed to miss the playoffs for a third straight year with Dennis Allen there? And the NFL is not it's not a patient, and it's not patient anymore. It's not for long. You have to win. And when you've been given the playoff team and you don't win, man, you got to go, man. SK says, Q, why Jameis didn't get this many chances? Because Jameis wasn't their handpicked guy. Jameis was a settler. You know what a settler is, bro? I mean, a lot of my experienced people in here know what a settler is. That's what a settler is, my friend. Or better yet, remember that old Luther Vandross song they used to play back in the day? If you can't love the one you want, you love the one you with. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all remember that song. Y'all put one in the chat if you remember that song. If you can't love the one you want, you love the one you're with. Y'all remember that song by Luther? Put one in the chat if you remember that one, baby. That's pretty much what's going on right here. You know, Jameis wasn't the guy. Remember the year when Jameis was there, when they finally did the contract with Jameis, they were going after Deshaun Watson. And they couldn't get Deshaun Watson because he played him. He was trying to leverage the Saints deal against Atlanta. And if Cleveland hadn't popped up, he would have been heading to Atlanta. So, I mean, it is what it is, bro. So, I mean, they settled on Jameis. Man. But the thing about it, this upcoming year, they offered Jameis an opportunity to sit behind Derek Carr as his backup. Jameis could have bolted and went to Tampa Bay, but he stayed right where he was. You know, so, you know, yeah, he wasn't their guy. He wasn't their guy, as simple as that. Carr was their perceived guy, and that's why he gets all these chances. Unfortunate. Below says it hurts to want to lose and win at the same time. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? It's a push and pull, a weird push and pull dynamic. My mindset's always to win. I don't care if Dennis Allen up there or not. I want to win. I want to win. But like I said, if what's meant to be will be. If Dennis Allen's not the guy like we think he's not, then over the next 4 games, we'll be fortified with our mindset. We will be proved right once again, if this is indeed the case. So it is what it is. Tonka Tuntry Beat says it's always chaos at the end of the season, but the last couple of years in the NFC South. In a very weak, you can't win a weak NFC South too, with all these teams not taking full possession. 1 week we got it, 1 week Atlanta have it, 1 week Tampa Bay got it. So it's like nobody really wants to win it. You got 3 teams, they 6-7. They both 2 teams ahead of the Saints with the tiebreakers. Saints got to win out to have a shot. Bottom line. So it's before you, like Carr said, it's before us. But let's see if you're who you say you are. And I'm talking about the Saints. That's how it goes. So anyway, with that being said, fam, we're gonna get ready to get out there, man. It's 12:30. You know, I like to appreciate all the family members stepping in the stream tonight, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the show. You got 100+ people in the building. Y'all feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed, man. Listen, midweek Saints wrap up. Big Q in the building. Sports Coma representing. Listen, fam, I know we got a lot of craziness going on in the Saints world right now. This team is underperforming like a dog. But 4 games remaining. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a interesting finish for the 2023-24 season. That's all I can tell you. It's going to be very interesting, man. And that's what it is. So anyway, that's all I got. I'd like to give a shout out to all the family members with the Cash App, Super Chat. Shout out to you, Brent, and the rest of the family members for y'all support, man. I'm going to pop back up here to Thursday. Tomorrow, we're going to go over the Thursday report as well. We're going to talk some more black and gold news and notes, man. And we're going to cover this thing. It's tough, man. It's tough. But at least you're not the Carolina Panthers. That's at least you're not them. All right, I'm going to holler at y'all, man. Much love, peace, and who dat.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember,